Hey guys, it's Jeb here, and in this video, crypto loans firm YouHodler left thousands of users' data exposed online where hackers could find not only their credit card numbers, but also the CVVs to use those credit cards. In the technical analysis portion of today's video, I want to dive into why I believe that Bitcoin is going to reach $20,000 and beyond by the end of the year. We're going to be talking fundamentals, we're going to be talking technicals, I'm going to show you exactly why and how Bitcoin could be trading that high before the beginning of 2020. We're also going to be discussing presidential candidate Andrew Yang and a super PAC that was created for him where he can accept Bitcoin donations through the Lightning Network. This is a very real-world application of a very powerful technology, that being Lightning Network, layered on top of Bitcoin. I'm excited about this article. We'll be diving into that later. And finally, guys, John McAfee, the man, the myth, the legend, has been released from custody, and in fact, it seems that he's kind of friends with his detainers here. He's hugging them, so this is going to be an interesting story, guys. We have a lot to cover in today's video. I do hope you guys do enjoy today's video. If you do so, you can support the channel by smashing that like button and also by joining the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy. There's a link in the description down below with a $40 off coupon code 25K2019. Guys, we just hit 25,000 subscribers and I want to celebrate a little bit, so if you want to learn how to do technical analysis, now's the right time to do so. Anyway, guys, without much further ado, let's go ahead and dive right on into it. The first thing I want to talk about is the bull market here in 2016 and 2017, guys. In 2017, Bitcoin started that year right down here. We'll put it on the log chart real quick. Bitcoin started 2017 trading around $1,000 per Bitcoin. By the end of that same year, Bitcoin was trading nearly 2,000% higher than where it started. In the span of 365 days, Bitcoin had rallied $19,000 when it had only ever rallied $1,200 in the entire 8 years that had come before it. Bitcoin had a gigantic rally in 2017, and that rally started because of the bullish fundamentals and technicals that had been built throughout the year prior in 2016 during that bull market. But guess what happened during 2016, guys? During 2016, Bitcoin rallied from where it started the year, around $400, all the way back to its previous all-time high, close to $1,200. And if we come here on an older chart, what we're going to see is that right here at the beginning of 2016, Bitcoin started here, and by the end of 2016, within just a year, Bitcoin had rallied from $400 somewhere below and around the price that it was trading at during its previous bear market over here. We had rallied from $400 all the way back up to all-time high right here. As you can see, that was previous all-time high. In just a year, we basically ended the accumulation phase, started the new bull market, and rallied all the way back up to all-time high. Well, guys, the market is very clearly on fast forward this time because Bitcoin has already moved all the way up to $14,000 before the end of 2019, which this would have been analogous to 2015. We've already made a lot of that progress. Bitcoin has already kind of thrown the training wheels off and is already biking down the street at like 120 miles an hour, guys. Bitcoin is doing phenomenal things right now, and we've already made a lot of that progress back up to $20,000. Now, you always want to be careful doing technical analysis and expecting the market to repeat itself. You do want to be careful of that. But if you factor in the differences between this market in 2015 and 16 and 17, what you're going to find is that Bitcoin is more bullish this time and has better fundamentals this time than it did during the previous bull market. So it would make sense that Bitcoin would at the very least be as bullish and follow a similar trajectory that it did during that bull market in this one, because Bitcoin is more bullish now than it was. Not to mention, guys, let's go ahead and look at how far Bitcoin has rallied here in the last couple of months. If we go ahead and start back over here on February the 8th when this actual rally began, all the way up to now, this has been the span of about 167 days, and Bitcoin in about 150 days rallied about 312%. In about 140 days, Bitcoin rallied over 300%. That is remarkable. Let's go ahead and see how much longer we have left in the year. Well, guys, actually, we have about 160 days left in the year, and it would only require about 100% rally to move from where we are currently to where we need to go to $20,000. It would make a lot of sense if we could, in fact, rally to $20,000. And in fact, if we zoom out here on the weekly chart and we look at the overall trend that Bitcoin has been following here for the last several years, and we go ahead and draw just kind of a general trend line through this, where does that put us by the end of the year? Well, guys, the end of the year is right over here. That puts us close to $20,000. Bitcoin being above this level over here, below it over here. As Bitcoin continues to move forward and gets above this level, that should mean that it'll drag Bitcoin up. Bitcoin will continue to be as bullish as it has in the past because, like I said, there's not really any bearish fundamentals or technicals right now on the longer term time frames. So why wouldn't Bitcoin go to $20,000 this year? It doesn't really make a lot of sense that because of everything that we've seen this year, it doesn't really make a lot of sense that Bitcoin would not go to $20,000. But of course, that can't be our only argument, guys. We have to have another one. We have to show in our technical analysis why Bitcoin is going to go to $20,000. $20,000. So let me give you some reasons why. We've seen Bitcoin be in recovery and in retracement. Bitcoin's been pulling back here for a little over a month now. Bitcoin has pulled back at most about 35%. Bitcoin has been declining for about 29, 30 days or so. This is shaping up to be what looks like a very normal pullback during a bull market. If we look back in time over here on these previous bull markets back in 2016 and 17, Bitcoin will pull back maybe 30, 40, 50 days and pull back 30, 40, 50%. Somewhere around that region is where you would expect Bitcoin to pull back to. Bitcoin only pulled back for 15 days here and had a 40% retracement. Point being, Bitcoin is starting to reach the limits of what you would expect to happen during a bear market. We're starting to see the extremes of what you would expect for a pullback. We're starting to see that the pullback is probably coming close to an end. And in fact, guys, if we come here on the Bitcoin futures chart, I know you guys have been wanting me to look at this for quite some time. If you want to find Bitcoin futures, type BTC1 exclamation point into the search bar up here and then press this button and then you will find it right there. If you're looking at the futures chart, you are going to find that there is a gap down here. Normally those gaps are going to be filled. Like I've said in previous videos, gaps don't always have to be filled. I think that's a fallacy, but more often than not, they will be. And if this gap is filled, then that would see Bitcoin coming down to around $8,300. It would make sense for Bitcoin to be able to do that. Just because Bitcoin does that does not mean this the end of the world. That would put Bitcoin coming down here and testing the 100 moving average, and from there we could have a proper bounce, continue to the upside, and actually see Bitcoin restart the rally, reignite the afterburners, and continue heading higher. I think that's probably what's going to happen, is that if Bitcoin hasn't actually bottomed out now, then we're going to come down there, fill that gap, bounce off the 100, and continue moving forward from there. Nevertheless, within the next week or two, we should see more bullish momentum coming back to Bitcoin. Alright guys, with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and dive on into some news. I want to start with Andrew Yang. You guys are probably familiar with Andrew Yang. He is a presidential candidate for the United States who wants to he wants to clarify the regulation and the guidelines around cryptocurrencies for the cryptocurrency market as it relates to the US government. Because if you guys know anything about the regulatory landscape, especially as it pertains to the tax code, cryptocurrencies are very unclear. That's one of the reasons why a lot more institutions have not stepped into the cryptocurrency space, is because it's not very clear how you're supposed to do business as it relates to the cryptocurrency markets. You can take, for example, why Binance is stepping out of the United States, why a lot of these exchanges are stepping out of the United States. And that's not necessarily because of regulatory uncertainty or unclarity. It's because the regulatory landscape is not the most beneficial. These are the kind of things that Andrew Yang wants to tackle if he were to become president, along with many other things. Of course, cryptocurrency is not the only thing he's focusing on. The news story for today, though, is exactly this. Andrew Yang's super PAC will accept Lightning-powered Bitcoin donations. I'm going to go ahead and read just a little bit of this, and then we'll do a little bit of political analysis on the situation. This could be the first time the Lightning Network, a Bitcoin scaling solution, officially impacts the United States presidential election. Roughly a dozen Bitcoiners who support Democratic presidential candidate Andrew Yang. I want to be called a Bitcoiner. Are we Bitcoiners, guys? Are you my Bitcoiners? Is that the name of the community here? Andrew Yang launched a crypto-friendly super PAC on Thursday, Humanity Forward Fund, Humanity Forward Wheel Drive. Thanks to PAC's payment processor OpenNode, the entity will be able to accept payments from Lightning wallets. Awesome stuff, guys. I like seeing Lightning Network being accepted, being adopted, being used for what Bitcoin is intended to be used for, which is for payments and actually operating as a currency in the economy as a pseudo replacement, and hopefully in the future an actual replacement for the US dollar. One thing that could be pretty interesting is that the current president, Donald Trump, is not a fan, to use his words, of Bitcoin. Should Andrew Yang actually get the Democratic nomination, it'd be really interesting to see if there was a point in the presidential debates where they're debating Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. If that happened, that would be really good for Bitcoin, no matter who wins the debate, no matter how it goes. Just having the word Bitcoin uttered on that stage with 100 million people watching would be huge. If Andrew Yang does get the DNC nomination, it'd be really, really interesting to see if the moderators of these debates do actually bring up Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, because it's something that both of these men have talked about in the past. Anyway, let's go ahead and get on with this. Crypto loans firm left thousands of users' financial data exposed online. YouHodler, you have been exposed because you are the one that left people's financial data online. We're going to go ahead and read through this briefly. This is very important because it's going to allow me to touch on security in the cryptocurrency space, which is a very important topic. So let's go ahead and dive right on into it. Cryptocurrency loan platform YouHodler left millions of records containing private financial data from thousands of users exposed online, researchers found. In a blog post, VPN Mentor said its research team, led by Noam Rotem and Rand Loshar, discovered a database leak as part of their webmacking project and traced it back to YouHodler. The data they found exposed comes to more more than 86 million records that included users' names, email addresses, home addresses, phone numbers, and birthdays. It gets worse. Credit card numbers, CVV numbers, those are the 3-digit numbers on the back that you need to confirm a transaction, bank details, and crypto wallet addresses were also exposed in the data. The implications of this breach are extensive, said literally everyone who read this article. VPN Mentor said it had contacted YouHodler on July 22nd, which responded a day later and had fixed the issue. Good thing that they got on top of that, but it should have never happened in the first place. Doesn't seem like anyone actually got this data. Luckily, it was some researchers that found it and not some hackers, because that could have been very bad. YouHodler's website indicates it has over 3,500 customers and provided over $10 million in loans. That could have been very bad. 3,500 credit cards and data on that many people, on 3,500 people, that is worth a lot of money to people that are in a more nefarious business, such as stealing people's money. Anyway, crisis averted. YouHodler has actually gone ahead and fixed this. If you guys don't know what YouHodler is, because I didn't, I'd never heard of them before this, essentially what they do is they allow you to basically pawn off your cryptocurrency. That's actually what they say here, is that they act kind of like a pawn shop for cryptocurrencies. You can pawn your cryptocurrency and then you can get money back and then use that money in a loan. It's really kind of an interesting platform. It's not like a BitConnect loan platform. That's not what it means when it says loan platform. It's actually just a platform where you can get a loan. It's kind of interesting. I've never really seen that happen in cryptocurrency before. I honestly wouldn't do business with them after this. I don't want to get a lawsuit or anything, but keep in mind what happened here. If you go and do business with them, you don't want to lose your debit card or credit card information to someone that is going to use it for nefarious purposes. But guys, honest mistakes do happen. You know that. A lot of people are going to make mistakes. You just have to be careful. That's why I'm always very hesitant to who I give my credit card information to, who I give my social security number to. All of those things I try to keep very close to my chest. And for security purposes, it's very important that you do the same. It's very important, especially, that you do the same for your private keys on your cryptocurrency. That's one of the reasons why I actually got a Ledger Nano S, and I have a lot of my Bitcoin on that now, because it's a lot more secure than where I had it before on an Exodus wallet. That being said, Exodus wallets are very secure, but I feel more comfortable with it over there. Anyway, guys, we have a little bit more news to get to here before we wrap the video up. John McAfee was actually released from detainment in the Dominican Republic yesterday. We can actually see that on his Twitter page. He was released, and he's actually seemingly made friends with the people who was detaining him. John McAfee, being the charming man he is, and with his aviators here and his bare chest, managed to make friends with the people who arrested him. Cryptocurrency enthusiast and antivirus software namesake John McAfee appears to have been released by authorities in the Dominican Republic today. McAfee posted a picture on his official Twitter account with the caption, this. He said, "Leaving detention, don't judge by looks, 4 days of confinement. I was well treated, my superiors were friendly and helpful. In spite of the helpful circumstances, we've decided to move on. More later." So guys, there you go. John McAfee has been released. He was not actually detained by the CIA. I hope you guys realize that it was kind of me making fun of him yesterday when I said that he was being detained by the CIA. That's what his future campaign manager was saying. Honestly, guys, I don't think the CIA would have gone after him on that. Although there are charges having to do with the IRS, and there are charges having to do with a murder in Belize, I don't think the CIA was actually after him. Nevertheless, guys, it is interesting to see that this has happened. I'm not going to get into too much more of what's gone on here, because it's really probably just not that interesting to you. It's just interesting to see that John McAfee got detained and is now released. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I've tried to mix it up a little bit more, try to get the intro a little bit more snappy, make sure we're getting to the point, being more concise, being more clear, make sure the editing is done very, very well. Taylor's doing an excellent job. Everybody say thank you, Taylor, in the comment section down below. She's probably gonna roll her eyes while she's editing this. Oh well, that's what I pay you for. Anyway, guys, I do hope you did enjoy today's video. If you did, you can support the channel by hitting that like button down below. And if you're new here, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, guys. We do cryptocurrency videos every single day. If you want to be updated on what's going on in the cryptocurrency market, both on the technical and the fundamental side, I would love to see your pretty face coming back every single day for more. Like I said, you can hit that notification bell down there to be notified every single time a new video goes out. Before we end the video, I do want to remind you that we are running the sale on the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy. I hope you guys do realize that this business does take money to run. I have to pay my editor, I have to pay myself, I have to be able to keep the ads running, I have to keep a lot of things running. This is a business, and this business does require funding, and one of the ways that this business generates funding is through the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy. So if you guys want to learn how you can actually make a lot more money in the market while also helping to support the channel and helping to support these videos that I hope you guys are enjoying, if you've watched all this way, you probably are enjoying, and you want to learn how you can actually profit in these markets, whether or not you're a beginner technical analyst, someone just entering the space, or someone that's been in the space for a very long time, these 33 videos, over 9 hours of content in C22A, will help you significantly to learn how to work in these markets. We've had over 700 people go through the course, and they're always telling me how much they enjoy the course, how much the course material has helped them to be able to actually go into the market and make money. It's a very, very valuable course in my opinion, and not just in my opinion, in the opinions of the people that have gone through it. You can go to the sales page down below and see everything that we have to offer. If you guys do want to join the course, you can do so with the link in the description down below. Use the coupon code 25K2019 at checkout. You get $40 off the course price. You can go use that $40 to go invest more into Bitcoin and start using the lessons that you're learning here, guys. What you're going to learn in this academy is very, very valuable stuff. It's not talked about by a lot of people. Stuff like gut feeling, how to plan and execute profitable trades, a game of statistics and probabilities. That's one of my favorite videos. You're not going to find this stuff on YouTube. You're not going to find it on Google. The only way you're going to find it is if you go and do what I did and you experiment for 2 years and you work in the markets every single day, and then you're going to learn it through experience, because no one talks about this stuff. And if they are talking about it, they're hiding it behind a $1,000 paywall, because most courses that teach you this stuff cost a lot more money than CT2A does. I want to make this information available to you guys while also being able to support the channel and also being able to make sure that you guys have incentive to keep going through the course. Because if I were to just give you this information and you didn't have to pay for it, guess what? There have been studies that have been done that show that if you give people information that are in a course like this, they're not going to use it as effectively as if they had paid for it, because if you pay for it, then all of a sudden you have an investment in it, and you want that investment to reap rewards. So guys, do check the link in the description down below. Use that coupon code. I know you guys will enjoy what is in the course. I've seen it happen hundreds and hundreds of times by happy customers, and I'd like to see you join them. Anyway, guys, that's going to do it for today's video. I do want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.